Galovina guia golosana angito talita kini ana barong ng Bula FM e Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na dang kotevita utungboy 90 ando talita wale barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sel.
Na dang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sel.
Elong ratu kitani gotobo ando talita na barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sel ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Fbctv. Tonight, men charged for alleged stabbing in Akasi Nausori. Education Ministry identifies capital projects to be put on hold. A new Human Rights Director wants greater presence in the community. A 47-year-old taxi driver appeared in the Nasinu Magistrates Court this afternoon, charged with the alleged stabbing of his ex-wife and her partner. Rakesh Narayan is charged with 1 count of attempted murder and 1 count of intent to cause grievous bodily harm. Maggie Boyle with the story.
It's been almost 2 days since 42-year-old mother of 2, Sakindra Devi, was allegedly stabbed outside her workplace here in Nakasi. Police today charged her ex-husband, Rakesh Narayan, with 2 felonies of attempted murder and an act to cause grievous bodily harm. Meanwhile, Devi, his ex-wife, remains in a critical condition since Wednesday. Her partner, who tried to help her during the attack, has been discharged from hospital. Narayan, a taxi driver, is believed to have argued with Devi before turning on her with a kitchen knife and reportedly stabbing her several times. The court case is now scheduled to sit on the 30th of March for mention, with police prosecution requesting a transfer to the High Court for the matter to proceed. A sense of justice today, some sense anyway. Rakesh Narayan, the main suspect in the brutal stabbing, indicted here at the Magistrates Court on 2 counts. Sakindra Devi, though, his victim, has yet to give her statement. She remains in critical condition at the CWM hospital. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Police continue to question people in relation to the brutal murder of 14-year-old Mere Alievu in Deumba this week. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Siteven Ngiliho told the FBC News that one of the suspects who was in custody has been released as the investigation continues. Ngiliho says they will provide updates once the investigation has been completed. Mere Alievu, a Year 7 student, went missing on Sunday afternoon. Her body was found at the beach the next day. Mere will be laid to rest tomorrow. The Education Ministry has identified capital projects which can be shelved this year to pay for TC Winston rehabilitation. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy told FBC News that the final say is with the National Planning Ministry. The Education Ministry has proposed a list of capital projects which can be deferred.
2 million was allocated for digital literacy. We can make do without it for this year. There are some new schools that were supposed to be constructed. All of them we are saying deferred to next year. There was a school that was supposed to be moved in Sukotoka to another location. Quite a few million was tied up there. We are deferring that. So in this way we are looking at quite a bit of savings in millions of dollars.
These funds will be diverted to national rebuilding efforts after the Category 5 cyclone.
It's a suggestion to Ministry of Finance. At the end of the day, is Ministry of Finance who has the final authority of how much, which capital projects and how much money can be moved to the Finance Ministry without affecting the core business. We are happy to support any call from Ministry of Finance.
Earlier this month, Finance Minister Aya Sayed Kayum confirmed that some big announcements will be made in a couple of weeks after the government has decided how to cater for unbudgeted costs from TC Winston. The $145 million allocated for new capital projects will need to be stringently monitored, and some funds will be diverted to rebuild vital infrastructure in affected areas. Fbctv, FBC News. The government has paid out a $20.2 million as a form of immediate relief assistance to just over 44,000 households covered under the social welfare programs. All those under the Poverty Benefit Scheme care and protection allowances and social pension scheme receive additional payments today. Eleanor Turangai View with the story from Lambasa.
Before the town opened for business this morning, lines were already forming at the two Westpac automated teller machines in Lambasa. These are social welfare recipients from the wider Madhuwata and Senganga area receiving their lump sum payout from the government.
The machines went off. We searched in other shops that can take our cards, but afterwards still there is a long queue, and it has been like this the whole day. I was here at 7 in the morning waiting in the line.
Families registered under the Poverty Benefit Scheme receive an additional $600 today. Those under the Care and Protection Allowance and the Social Pension Scheme each receive $300.
People are now lucky, those who are poor are lucky. We are grateful to this government for the initiative and the Lord.
Those who access their monthly cash payment through post offices will receive the lump sum payment through their nearest post office. Recipients in maritime communities who don't have access to bank services will have their payments hand-delivered by the ministry. The ministry has stressed the need for these recipients to use the funds wisely and not waste it on unnecessary spending, as there are other affected families that need to be assisted. Eleanor Turangaibu, FBC News.
Fiji's laws are being consolidated by the Attorney General's office in Suva to make legislation easy, accessible and understandable. Laws dating back to 1985 will be covered.
That's what it looked like. Volume.
The consolidation of all laws is being handled by a team of experienced lawyers at the Attorney General's chambers with help from LexisNexis Group, a consultancy firm in Australia.
The consolidation essentially means that all the laws that have been drafted since 1985 will now be consolidated in a particular batch, I suppose, if you like. We call it a batch where everybody can have it very easily and readily available. It will also be available online. You can go to the LexisNexis website.
The work has been ongoing for nearly a year and is due in Parliament next month. Syed Qayyum says the laws will be well laid out and easy to follow.
It's a lot of hard work. We're going through every single word literally.
Absolutely.
To ensure that everything is correct. But as has been said that these things, the consolidation of laws actually are very, very important, because it does all contribute in a very practical and tangible sense of helping build the rule of law.
LexisNexis Executive Director Arupama Bhattacharya says their expertise in this area has come in handy.
What this really means is that a piece of legislation gets amended over many times over many years, and we are putting it all together so that every person has access to a full consolidated current version of legislation.
The consolidation will cost $1.6 million. Akosita Talei, FBC News. Still to come, iconic Suva restaurant opens under new management.
Yandra, I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Fbctv. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Fiji National Provident Fund branches around the country are tonight packed with members wanting to cash out for TC Winston relief. It's been 3 weeks since FNPF has announced that members can apply for their eligibility in the general account. As of yesterday, the fund has confirmed that 133,000 applications have been received so far and $42.8 million paid out. Two former Itauke Land Trust Board employees and a former police officer have been sentenced to 13 years imprisonment after they were convicted of 5 counts of money laundering. Joseph Sanganavere, Timoala Raongo, and Savinathan Batimbawa appeared at the Suva High Court today. The men were involved in transferring lease monies of more than $600,000 to 5 bank accounts. While sentencing the 3, Judge Salesi Temo said it was a well-planned and executed fraud on TLTB for 3 years. The offenses occurred between 2009 to 2012. The 3 men will be eligible for parole after serving 12 years behind bars. Newly appointed Director of the Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission, Ashwin Raj, has big plans for the statutory body. Raj was appointed Director FHRC earlier this week.
Greater visibility of the Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission through advocacy and a stronger presence is priority for Ashwin Raj, the new FHRA DC Director.
One of the most important things I think the Commission has to do is the ongoing monitoring and compliance of human rights standards and norms. And that eventually leads to 3 fundamental things. Accreditation of the Commission with hopefully an A status, Paris Principle compliance of the Commission, and linked to Fiji joining the UN Human Rights Council. So that's the ultimate goal.
Raj is determined to build public confidence in the Commission, which he feels has been inaccessible until now.
And the Constitution provides for the independence of the Commission. The Human Rights Decree provides for the independence of the Commission. So I think that at all times the Commission needs to conduct itself in the most independent manner. It has to be apolitical, it needs to be transparent in its dealings, and declare any conflict of interest at all times.
One of the first areas targeted by the Commission were evacuation centres post-tropical cyclone Winston.
For us, from the perspective of the Commission, we can't possibly be doing human rights work by sitting on our laurels. I wanted to make sure that we actually went out to all of the evacuation centres and met and spoke to people in ensuring that basic human rights were met at all times.
Raj is encouraging the public to visit the Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission office on Goodenough Street in Suva if they have any complaints. Jackie Spate, FBC News.
If more of the public came forward with what they know, there wouldn't be so many unsolved crimes in Fiji. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Giliho says they get some help from the public, but they could use more. Farzana Nisha has the story.
A great many cases reported to the police remain unsolved. The police commissioner says these cases must be cracked, so it brings closure to those that have been affected or traumatized by such crimes.
Like I've got a spear pricking me on the side of my ribs to know that there are unsolved cases, so we can bring some form of closure.
The Crime Stoppers team met this week to look at information that will involve working with the community and getting more help from the public.
About 60% or more than that is what we get from the community. Unfortunately, nothing has been forthcoming. The files are still open.
Brigadier General Giliho says many cases are yet to be solved and this needs to be addressed immediately.
More help from public will mean more cases to be solved. It's something to think about. Farzana Nisha, FBC News.
A new restaurant, City Cottage, has opened up along Canavan Street in Suva, occupying the same building where the renowned Old Mill Cottage Mill used to be. It may be a new business, but promises to carry on the legacy and history of a once popular eatery. Ellen Stolz has the story.
Investing $50,000 in the establishment, new owner, Fernanda Mala, known to many as Nita, says it was no easy task getting the restaurant up and running. It took her more than 4 months to clean and renovate, and there was a delay due to Tropical Cyclone Winston.
All the furnitures, all the walls and the ceilings, everything I have did new. Because it was really old, nothing was left here, and what I say, it was nothing here.
Having never dined at the Old Mill Cottage, Mala says the menu at City Cottage will be different and unique. She adds people can expect local dishes and a range that is close to her heart.
Fijian dishes, mostly, and Fiji-style Indian curry. What I know from my knowledge and what people can afford, that's the food I'm gonna cook it here.
The former Old Mill Cottage, which used to house staff from the sugar refinery in Suva, not only had a long history and memories, it also had loyal clientele.
Mala says she will do the best she can to serve both old and new customers. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Sports up next. Here's Jamie.
Thank you, Akashita, and good evening. In sports after the break, athletes can compete for adopted schools at this year's Coca-Cola Games. And Hideaway Hurricanes out to impress selectors this weekend. This and more coming up.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान गुरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल ए ग्रेड है गुरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है गुरबो में
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से साइमान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
माय नेम इज दिनेश हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जैंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लाइक इट
मिर्ची एफएम
Students of cyclone-affected schools will be able to choose which school to represent in the Coca-Cola Games next month. The Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association says student athletes have the choice to compete for their own schools or their adopted ones. Talenda Dakadaka with the details.
Although classes resumed a week after TC Winston, many students have been displaced, having to join other schools during repairs. Students are still scattered around the country, and Coke Games organizers have relaxed eligibility rules.
Students that are at say, Natambua, if they wish to compete under Queen Victoria, then they'll have to come to the Talib zone. But if they compete, like today or tomorrow, at Natambua, they'll have to appear as Natambua students if they qualify.
The Ministry of Education has stepped in to assist cyclone-affected schools compete in the Games. The Secondary Schools Athletics Association, they will provide upfront funding for transportation. Before they were reimbursing, this time around they will be providing upfront funding for that. They will pay the bill directly to the transport provider. Ministry is allowing the school to use up to $3,000 from the free education grant. In addition to that, we have collected some money from donors. We will be providing up to $500 to each of the schools from the cyclone affected areas.
The Coca-Cola Games will now be held over 3 days from the 28th to the 30th of next month here at the ANZ Stadium. Talendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
The Telecom Fiji Warriors hammered Tonga A 56-18 in the World Rugby Pacific Challenge at ANZ Stadium in Suva last night. The hosts scored 7 tries with number 8 Eramasi Ranronro scoring a double. Rohit Deo reports.
The TFL Fiji Warriors continues with its unbeaten run in the World Rugby Pacific Challenge with a handsome win in its last round-robin match. Captain Penny Ravai, pleased with the result, says there is still room for improvement.
Expect to be a big win today, but come a lot of mistakes. Let the Tongan brothers score 2 tries, so there's our mistakes. It's a lot of mistakes to improve from this week for the final next week.
Discipline has been a major issue for the Fijians, and coach Senerusi Seruvakula says they will need to keep a cool head in the final against Samoa 8.
And is that a try? Referee will consult his assistant.
That's the main focus for the Fiji team right now. Is keeping the discipline for the 80 minutes. And we can't afford to giving out cards, especially playing in the final against the Samoan.
The Fijians dazzled the Tongan A team with their traditional style of rugby. Ravai was overwhelmed with the performance.
I think all the players, they're really good today. I think I would like to thank all the boys for the great effort today. Second half, all the impact coming.
Oh, and there's a huge tackle gone in. There's a shoulder touch, I believe. Referee's playing advantage. But
the Pacific Challenge final is at 6 p.m. on Monday at the ANZ Stadium. Tonga A will face Junior Japan at 3:30 p.m. for the third place playoff. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Vodafone Flying Fijians will play 3 tough matches on its November tour to Europe. The side will face the England Barbarians in London before taking on the English national team at Twickenham. The Flying Fijians then meet a much improved Japanese side in the last test match on the European tour.
Of the English test match, you know, the big one there, but not overlooking Japan as well. You know, we know how well they did at the World Cup, and we had a very close game with them in the PNC last year. So So, you know, it's very important that we perform very well in that game, and I think really target the England game. We had some frustration at the World Cup that although we played well, we didn't win any of the big games. I think, you know, we've learned lessons from that, and you know, have a much greater belief of how competitive we can be against the top teams.
The Flying Fijians will also host Samoa, Tonga and Georgia in June. If there's one team that will be out to impress national selectors this weekend, it'll be the Hideaway Hurricanes. Players aren't only aiming for the Martintas 7th crown, but also gunning for places in the Vodafone Fiji 7th side. Josephine Avula has more.
What do the likes of Tasavere Malua, Nemani Nangusa and Amenoni Nasilasila have in common? They all played for Hideaway Hurricanes, a team that is hoping to unearth more national reps.
But the boys, the bigger picture is the Rio. You know, you work hard and you aim for a place in the Olympics team. That's all. You know, once you get into the Olympics team, then you know your dream is done.
With the motivation to play in the Rio Olympics, the side hopes to bag a few local titles this season.
Reminded the boys that we're not there to make up numbers, because we've got bigger tournaments coming up. So this is a good platform for the boys to set for the other upcoming tournaments.
Newcomers to the 7th arena, Korombembe is another team that is hoping for a good outing at the Martintar Sevens.
The aim of to participate in this tournament is just to help out the youth of it's a church, and that's the reason why we brought all the youth together, and we train them so that they can discipline themselves.
48 teams are playing in the two-day event, which is being held at Nandi's Prince Charles Park. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
Wycliffe Paolo will inject some grunt into the Waratahs pack, pulling on the number 8 jersey for his first start of the year against the Highlanders in their Super Rugby clash tonight. Head coach Daryl Gibson has stuck with the same backline for the highly anticipated 4th round clash with the defending Super Rugby champions. And remember, you can watch the Waratahs take on the Highlanders at 8:40 this evening live on FBCtv. And tomorrow, the Crusaders take on the Southern Kings at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. You can catch that match also live on FBCtv. That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Akasita now with business.
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation and MH were able to collect $24,500 through the Sangamoli Drive. The money has been handed over to the Assistant Minister for Natural Disaster Management, Joeli Dawaki, to go towards the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. FBC Chief Executive Riyad Sayed Qayyum thanked listeners and viewers for their support. MH Director Retail and Marketing Subaratnam Kuna says their customers donated clothes and food apart from the financial support.
The supplies, the clothing, some of the food items will be there. We will hand over to Fiji Council of Social Services, which is the organization organizing the distribution to the affected people.
The Sangamoli Drive was held for 3 weeks. Mainly fine weather were experienced over most places today. Lambasa topped off the temperatures today with 33 degrees this afternoon. Most other centers were close behind. Tomorrow's forecast is for rain and afternoon showers over the Fiji group. And outlook for Sunday, occasional rain, heavy at times and few thunderstorms over most places. And recapping the main stories, men charged in relation to stabbing in Akasi Nausori. Education Ministry identifies capital projects to be deferred after TC Winston, and Fiji Broadcasting Corporation collects more than $24,000 for TC Winston relief. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister station, Radio Gold FM. And on to this week's poll question, and we're asking, are you happy with the current Fiji Sevens reps? To answer, visit our FBC website, send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizensize@fbc.com.fj or share with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Akusito Tali.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Hulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.